Hello students, so this side Meena. So today we will move with the next topic, that is the psychodynamic approach. This approach is highly popular approach to studying the personality. Mainly contribution is given by Sigmund Freud. He was actually a physician and he developed his theory in his clinical practice. Early in his career, he used to hypnosis to treat people with physical and emotional problems. During this time, he noted that his patients needed to talk about their problems, and having talked about them, they often feel better. So, Freud used free association method in this and dream analysis and analysis of errors to understand the internal functioning of the mind. In the free association, it is a method in which a person is asked to openly share all the thoughts, feelings and ideas that is coming in his mind, and he is free to speak about them. Our next topic is level of consciousness. Freud's theory consider the sources and the consequences that leads to the emotional conflicts and the way how the people deal with this type of conflicts. In this, the Freud visualized the human mind in three levels of consciousness. First is conscious, in which that thoughts, feelings and actions include, to which the people are totally aware. Mean to say, what they are thinking, what they are feeling about something and what they are doing, they are totally aware of that. In the second level, that is known as a pre-conscious, it includes mental activity of the people, in which people aware about their mental activities only when they attend to the stimuli very closely. If we know some person but we are not able to recognize the person very clearly, but when we are able to meet that person in the practical life, then automatically all the things, all the thoughts and all the emotions related to that person comes to our conscious parts. Our third part is the unconscious, in which we include that mental activities that people are unaware. Mean to say, they don't know that which things are coming in their mind, like it happens in our dream state. Mean to say, whatever we are observing in our dreams at night, in morning sometimes we are not aware that what we have dreamt at night. According to Freud, the unconscious is a reservoir in which animal drives are also included, are instinctive also, like our ideas and wishes. All these things are concealed from the conscious awareness. Most of this arise sexual desires which cannot be expressed openly and therefore are repressed. People always struggle to find either some socially acceptable ways so that their desires and their viewpoint should be accepted by the society, to express their unconscious impulses or to keep those impulses away from being expressed. When the people are not able to express these things, then this conflict result in a abnormal behavior. Freud also developed a therapeutic procedure that is known as a psychoanalysis. Basic goal of psychoanalytic therapy is to bring repressed unconscious material to which the individual is totally unaware to consciousness, thereby helping people to live in a more self-aware and integrated manner. Our next topic is, that is given by Freud, is structure of personality. The primary structural elements of personality are three, that is id, ego and superego. In this, our first concept is id. It deals with the immediately gratification of primary needs, sexual desires and aggressive impulses. This is actually based on the pleasure principle, in which the people only seek pleasure and they try to avoid pain. Freud considered much of a person's instinctual energy to be sexual and the rest as aggressive. It does not care for the moral values, society and other individuals. Like we can take the example, like there is a small child who is at the age of a 3 or 4 year. If someone is eating the ice cream, the child will cry for that ice cream and the child will not see anything that other person will feel about him, that without any permission he is asking for the ice cream from the another person hand. So this is based on the pleasure principle. Our next one is the ego. It satisfied an individual's needs in accordance with the reality. That's why it is based on the reality principle. Like The id of a boy who wants an ice cream cone tells him to grab the cone and eat it. His ego will tell him that if he is going to grab the cone without asking, he may be punished. So here the reality comes that he knows that what will be the circumstances after taking the ice cream directly without any permission. Working on the reality principle, the boy knows that the best way to achieve vacation is to ask for permission to eat the cone. Our next one is superego. The best way to characterize the superego is to think of it as a moral branch of mental functioning. In this also we can continue with the example, like if a boy sees and wants an ice cream cone and asks his mother for it, his superego will indicate that his behavior is morally correct. This approach towards obtaining the ice cream will not create guilt, fear and anxiety in the boy. It shows the ethical values in the child. In some people, the id is stronger than the superego. Freud also assumed that it is energized by two instinctual forces, that is known as a life instinct and the death instinct. In this, he paid less attention to the death instinct and give more focus on the life instinct, which includes sexual pleasure also. The instinctual life force that energizes the id is also known as a libido. It works only on the pleasure principle and seek immediate gratification. Our next main topic is ego defense mechanism. According to Freud, human behavior reflects an attempt to deal with or escape from anxiety. Freud believed that people avoid anxiety mainly by developing defense mechanism. It is a way of reducing anxiety by distorting reality, mean to say when people don't want to face the reality. Freud has described many different kinds of defense mechanism. The most important is repression, in which our behaviors and the thoughts that cause anxiety are dismissed by the unconscious. When people repress a feeling or desire, then they become totally unaware of that. Mean to say, if one child in the childhood experience a earthquake or a tsunami, then the feelings or thoughts related to it will be in the child's unconscious mind, but the child in the adult age may be not aware of that thing. So whenever the person will ask about the experiences related to the earthquake, then maybe the person will say that I don't know why I did that, I don't know about that experiences. All these thoughts repress in a child's unconscious minds. Our next one is the projection. In projection, people try to see the same trait that they feel in themselves. If one person feels that he is a very aggressive person, then maybe that same person feels that the other person is also behaving in the same manner. Our next one is denial. It means when person totally want to refuse to accept the reality. Suppose if one person is suffering from HIV, AIDS, any another crucial disease, then the person try to deny the things that yes, no, I don't have this type of problem. Our next one is the reaction formation. In reaction formation, a person tries to defend anxiety by adopting the behavior opposite to his true feelings. Like if one person is having a strong sexual urges, then the person will channelize this energy into the opposite thing, that is in the religious ceremonies, and it present a classical example of reaction formation. Our next one is the rationalization. In this, a person tried to make unreasonable feelings or behavior that seem to the person very reasonable and acceptable. Like if when a student tried to give his first exam with the same pen, if the exam of the child is very good according to him, then the child will feel that this pen is very lucky to him. So he want to try the same company pen in all the papers. People who use defense mechanism are often unaware of doing so. If we use this defense mechanism at some level, then it is very healthy for the person, but if we use it at a very great level, then it also has a very adverse effect in the person's life. Our next one is stages of personality development. Freud has given 5-stage theory of personality. In this, our first stage is oral stage. A newborn's instincts are focused on the mouth. This age lies between from 0 to 2 years. This is the infant's primary pleasure-seeking center. By the mouth that the baby obtains food that reduce hunger. It also includes thumb sucking, biting and babbling. Our next stage is anal stage. It lies between the age of 2 years and 3 years. In this, child learns to respond to some of the demands of the society. It also includes the toilet training given by the parents to the child. In this, the child learns to control the bodily functions. The anal area of the body become the focus of strange pleasurable feelings. Our next one is the phallic stage. In this stage, the major focus on the genitals. In this stage, at around ages 4 and 5, children begin to realize the differences between the males and females. There is a Oedipus complex for the boys and the Electra complex for the girls. Oedipus complex involves the love for the opposite gender. Actually, the Oedipus was a Greek king who unknowingly killed his father and then married his mother. For girls, the Oedipus complex called the Electra complex after Electra, a Greek character who induced her brother to kill their mother. In this, by attaching her love to the father, a girl tried to marry his father and raise a family. When she realizes that this is unlikely, she begins to identify with her mother and copy her behavior as a means of getting her father's affection. This is based on a myth related to the Oedipus. Our next stage is latency stage. This stage lasts from about 7 years until puberty. During this period, the child continues to grow physically, but sexual urges are relatively inactive. Our next stage is genital stage. During this stage, the person attains majority in psychosexual development. People learn to deal with the members of the opposite sex socially and sexually mature way. However, if the journey towards this stage is marked by the excessive stress, then it may cause fixation to an earlier stage of development. Now we will discuss that what does the fixation mean. In the fixation, the child development gets recessed at an early stage. To say, if according to the age, child should enter from oral stage to anal stage, but the child is still at the oral stage, so this is known as a fixation. This failure may have serious consequences for the child's life. Our next stage is the regression. Regression occurs when a person's resolution of a problems at any stage of development is less than adequate. Situation, people display behaviors typical of a less mature stage of development. Mean to say, if the one child has entered in the stage of genital stage, but still the child is not able to perform the physical and psychological activities that is required by the particular age, then it is known as a regression. So that is all for this video. In the next video, we will discuss about our next approach. Thank you.